Welcome back to the Mega Meeple, the show all about gamers and the games that bring them together. I'm your host, Tom, and I want to thank you for hitting that download button. Now, if you like what you hear, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us some kind words and put out some of that 5-star loving, okay? We'd really appreciate that. And I promise I'll call you in the morning. Now, if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you want to hear about, or maybe a topic of discussion about the board games, now you can contact us through our website. It's www.themegameeple.com, and go to our social media page. All the links to our pages like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know all the ones. Okay, it can be found there at our social media page. And now you can also hear the podcast on our YouTube channel, as well as some unboxing videos, as boring as they are, but evidently unboxing videos is a thing, so I do them, oh well. And you can also see some reviews of games and gaming accessories, and the link to that is also on our social media page on the website. Alright, welcome back to the Mega Meeple. This is episode 9. 9! Jawohl, Commandant. Never mind. I don't know, I'm talking German, I'm Irish. Well, yeah, we got one more episode till the double digits here. And looking forward to that. And that's usually the point where kind of just the road opens up and we just kind of ride along and stroll along, stuff like that. And usually, I think I talked a little bit about this in a previous episode where, usually if a podcast is going to like stop or not even get off its feet, then it's not going to make it to the 10th episode. They usually quit before the 10th episode. So if someone starts a podcast and they get past the 10th episode, that's sort of like the yard marker of they've gotten into the rhythm and the workload and stuff like that, as far as putting stuff together, recording the episode, editing it, and getting it out there. So it's sort of like just business as usual at that point. That being said, this is actually the first episode where we do not have an interview. That's right. We typically have an interview with people, but this is the first one where we don't have an interview. We actually have 2 interviews. That's right. First time we got my friend Albert Ross from Carolina Tabletop Games here in Pineville, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. And he's going to be talking about just the ins and outs and ups and downs of managing a friendly local game store. And then at the end of this episode, we have a short interview from Josh Bridgman from Nightshade Creations. And he has a Kickstarter right now of a gaming vault. So he is going to be talking about that. June is almost over, and 2017 is half over. So, with a lot of people do like their year-end top lists and stuff like that. So this is my top 5 of games that I have enjoyed during the first half of 2017. Now, again, let me just preface this to say this is my list. Not yours. If you disagree with this list, then create your own podcast and put your own list out. Simple as that. And these are not necessarily games that have been released in 2017. These are just games that have gotten to the table the most, and I have gotten the most fun and satisfaction in playing. So number 5 is Arkham Horror, the card game, or the LCG as they call it. They are just, right now, they're just about to release the final Mythos phase of this first cycle or this first campaign. And then I think in the next 2 or so months, I believe in August or so, they're going to be releasing the next deluxe expansion that will be launching off the next cycle or the next campaign on the Arkham Horror LCG. Now, number 4 is Mechs vs. Minions by Riot Games. Now, this game just took the board game industry by storm. And this was put out late last year, and it was put out by the people that make League of Legends. So they're not a board game company; they're a video game company. And this was their very first board game, and they really hit it out of the park. Just the quality of the components and just the way the box is all situated and organized. It's just impeccable. It put a lot of other companies that do make board games as a living to shame with the quality of that game. And we're just getting ready to start or play Mission 9. Yeah, so I got one more mission after this, and it'll be interesting to go back and play those missions again, but on regular mode. We've been playing it on easy mode all the time, and even then we're finding it challenging to even succeed in the missions. So it'll be interesting to go back and play it on the regular or hard setting and see how we fare with that. Number 3 is Chip Theory Games, Too Many Bones. This is sort of like a dice RPG game. Again, as the quality of the components is really good, high quality, a lot of dice. If you like dice and you like RPGs, this is the game for you. And they just recently successfully did a Kickstarter called Trip Lock, and I think that funded in 4 minutes or something. It's already like 1,300% funding. So we're looking forward to that one. But yeah, that is a really cool game. Number 3, Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games. Number 2 is from Stonemaier Games, Scythe. And if you haven't, if you just started listening to these episodes, you got to go back to listen to episode 3 if you're not already heard it. Episode 3, we had Jamie Stegmaier on as our guest, our very first guest at the Mega Meeple. He talked all about the expansions that had just been released. He talked about Scythe. He talked about the art of the game, how he came across the artist, the ups and downs of Kickstarter, and his experience with that. And we hope to have Jamie back on in a few months when Charterstone comes out. So hopefully he'll be not only the first person who appeared as a guest on the Mega Meeple, but he may be the very first guest to appear twice on the Mega Meeple. So looking forward to that. Yeah, but if you haven't heard that yet, go back and that's episode 3. I think you'll enjoy it. So that's number 2, Scythe by Stonemaier Games. And then number 1 is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. Now, say what you will about apps being incorporated into the gameplay. This is a game where the app really kicked it up quite a bit. It kicked up a notch as far as just the ease of setting up, the ability for the person who gets stuck with playing the GM all the time. Everybody's able to play as the investigator, and it's not just a one versus all type of thing. Just a few nitpicks on the app. I wish they would update the app and put something in there that allows you to go back or undo or something like that, or at least maybe another a dialogue window pop up and say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" There's been too many times where we've accidentally hit on OK or search or something like that we didn't mean to do, and once you hit that button, that's it. There's no going back. You're committed, and you got to go on. So I hope they put like a are you sure, or maybe a go back or undo or something like that. At least to go back on at least one mishap or mistaken decision. And also with when they're doing putting the tiles out on the table, and it's telling you what tiles to put out and where to put the tokens and the doors and the windows and the walls and stuff like that, and the people icon, people tokens. I wish there was a way to put that dialogue box maybe off to the side, or maybe click it so it disappears momentarily, so you could actually see the tiles that you're supposed to put out and where you need to put the tokens on. It doesn't do any good to say to put a door token or a search token on a specific tile when the dialogue box is blocking your view from the tile where you need to put the token on. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so that's just a few nitpicky things, but other than that, it's fine. It's a great game, and it's a number one for me. So what's your top 5 or top 10 or whatever of 2017 thus far? Talk to me, converse with me, let me know. You can contact me through any of the social media pages on the website, or you can contact me directly through feedback. So without any further ado, let's go to this episode's guests, plural. Welcome back to the Mega Meeple, and we are happy to have as our guest in this episode, we have Albert Ross of Carolina Tabletop Games in Pineville, North Carolina, which is one of the number of local family game stores here in the area. How you doing, Albert?
Doing pretty well. I'm actually sitting here at the game store while we're doing this interview, so if you hear some background noise, it's people playing games and having a good time here.
Cool. Add some ambiance to the interview. But now one thing I want to ask you is first off, and I think I ask this question a lot for companies and stuff like that. I think it's going to be my staple. I'm going to call it the napkin question. And so basically, if you could take us back to the time where Carolina Tabletop Games was nothing more than a little idea scribbled on a barroom napkin. And where did it go from there? And what challenges and what did you have to go through to get that idea into an actual physical, practical thing?
Wow, that's a bigger question than you might realize. But we are very much a family store here. My brother is the person who's the manager owner. And the people who work here generally are family people. My wife does merchandising. I do, computer, IT, web, that kind of stuff. And then we're all kind of also tossing into, do the actual running of the store with, when people buy materials and stuff. But that also kind of answers the question of the origin of the idea behind getting the store created. My brother and I have both been game players for a significant period of time. It might give away our age a little bit, unfortunately, but he and I have been both playing Avalon Hill games and other types of board games, et cetera, miniatures and so on, since the mid-'70s. So we're very much in the hobby for a significant period of time, and actually dropped out for quite a few years while we were, adulting, doing, the work thing where it was taking a significant portion of your time. As we got a little bit older, we had even discussed back then the thought of doing a game store at some point. But we never really put any real major thought and effort into it. But when we started back into the game process and the hobby itself, back in maybe 2012 or so, at least significantly, we both came up with the idea that we could take the fact that we have a pretty strong expertise, and that's coming from both he and myself, and as it turned out, my wife ended up joining into that process of learning how games work and so forth, and my brother having some capital to work with, and that's the other trick. Whenever you're getting yourself set into a game store situation, you gotta think about location and rent. You've got to figure out what you're going to do about how to place looks and how much you're going to spend on that, how much stock you're going to be able to carry, what different kinds of things you're going to try to be able to carry. So all of those decisions are roll into that process of how much capital you need to have available to make the process go. So and that was the trick. My brother managed to be able to turn a career where he worked at Microsoft into a capability to put some capital aside. So about 3 years ago, my wife and I were considering the idea of opening a game store, but we had real difficulties finding a good location for a price that we could afford. Mm-hmm. So we put it on the side. We talked to some people that we trust that have some business acumen and talked about ideas about what to do. And we put off the decision for a couple of years. So that puts us basically about the beginning of 2016. And we started getting serious about the idea again. And the one thing that made the difference to us was we figured we had to have ourselves come into a particular specialty that offers something different, because there's a fair number of game stores in the Charlotte area at this point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once we decided that we would include the idea of a pub process of having people be able to sit, that we wouldn't need a ton of seating space, but some. And again, having a beer available as part of that process, we figured that made a difference maker for us from any of our competitors.
Mm. Now, how did the fact that you serve beer, and just to clarify, you don't sell the hard stuff, right?
Just that's correct.
Beer, right? So, what was that added level or layer of logistics and stuff that you had to get as far as getting the license in order to sell the beer?
That's mainly it. Bureaucracy. It added a certain level of time that we were able to get opened up, because we had to deal with this set of issues to get licensing taken care of. There is a cost that isn't hugely significant, but there's a cost. And there's an insurance issue as well. So when we went to establish our insurance and indicated we would be selling beer as part of the process, it kind of stumped our insurance people. So we ended up having to deal with both costs and a certain amount of bureaucracy in regards to that as well.
But it finally happened. And now, how long has the store been open at this point? We've been open now since August of 2016. Okay. Our location's in Pineville, basically in the downtown area, and we've managed to build a nice cadre of people to come back on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And we think that having that pub aspect of where everybody knows your name, kind of like Cheers. Right. We think that that's the other difference maker that we've made here, that people see us and we see them as family. And I could just speak to that personally, just being a regular customer there. You guys are family owned, family operated, and you bring that the flavor of family into the store as well. And it is really like a Cheers, because I'd say if you come to the store at least twice, you're adopted. You're family. So, and I've actually seen. I don't know if you know that. I got to tell you a quick story. I don't know if you know this, but I have seen at least 3 times when I've been at the store, and whoever was working that shift was busy, and somebody new had come in,
just, their first time in. And there was one instance where a lady was, she wasn't a gamer, but I think she was looking for a game for a relative for a birthday or some event. And one of the regular customers was, greeting her and then asking her questions and making suggestions and stuff like that, and giving her a little, board game 101 type of thing, and asking what her friend likes. And she was like, okay, and then she's like, well, let me go to ATM and I'll be back. And it was like, yeah, we you hear excuses like that. And we were Phyllis was actually surprised. She actually came back, and I think she bought like 2 or 3 games.
So that's great.
But
it's great. We do have that situation where we have a series of regular people here that play the games who have stepped up when we're busy with one other customer. For example, one of our customers will step up and help somebody asking questions if the actual employee is on busy. So that's a real blessing. And we've got people like Neil Williams and Shane Becker and who have been basically just volunteer their time to help us out. It's amazing.
That's great. I want to touch on 2 other things that you guys have there. You have sort of like a play before pay games. You have a section where it's a game that's already been open. The boards have been punched out and stuff like that. So if you come in and you're not sure you like the game or that game is for you, you have a system set up there where they could play the game right there and then decide whether they want to buy it or not.
That's correct. And the idea is my brother and I, like I said, have been in the hobby for quite some time, so we've built a fairly substantial game collection. And so that open box demo area that you just made reference to is basically a large portion of that anyway, is based on our 2 collections. So, as you say, what we try to do is give people an opportunity, if they're interested in a game but want to be able to see what the components look like or how the rules work, that we have those open box demos for people to have that opportunity to go ahead and play that game out. And often we'll charge a small fee for that, but then that fee will come out of any purchase they happen to make. So that seems to work out pretty well as well.
That's neat. That's neat, because I know a lot of times it's like a game may look really good, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to like it. And sometimes Ronnie Smith just doesn't have a video up about how to play and stuff like that. So it's like, well, all right, I got to find some other way to find out if it's for me. So that really helps. And
that's funny. We do the opposite. We do the opposite, also too, which is kind of interesting, because I'll say to somebody who doesn't necessarily want to sit down and play the game, hey, check out Watch It Play with Rodney Smith, and that'll give you a flavor for whether or not you'll like the game. We'll have it here. We'll be able to order it for you if we don't. So,
yeah, that's neat. And then you have events going on there and nights dedicated to certain games. I mean, people can come and play whatever game they want, but it's like, so to kind of bypass the whole trying to scheduling with friends and, hey, are you going to the store tonight? Are you going to the store tonight? Who's going to the store tonight? You have certain nights for like the bigger games, like you have a Star Wars Destiny game, a card game night, you have an X-Wing night, you have an LCG night. And,
that's correct. And there's a series of role-playing games that also do a fairly regular timing to do their sessions here, and we encourage that. We have enough table space to allow people to come in and do those kind of regular things. So yeah, that's one of the things we enjoy doing as well.
And another neat thing that I'd like you to talk about is you have these potluck dinner events where people just come in, bring a dish, and you all set up a huge table and sit around and eat and play games.
Yeah, my wife, Patrice, came up with that idea. She does a lot of our community outreach stuff. So, again, trying to build that family type of relationship, we will do like a monthly potluck where we encourage people to bring their stuff in, and we bring in stuff as well and have a nice dinner. And play games afterwards. We also did that on Thanksgiving evening for people who had, family out of town. We figured it'd be nice to be able to do a nice Thanksgiving dinner. And then we also do some charity stuff where when an event comes off and we're maybe raffling off a game or two or something like that, the money from that will generally go to a local charity. So.
Excellent. Well, if people wanted to, if they're in the Carolinas area and they want to look you guys up, how could they find you?
All right, well, our address is 315 Main Street, Suite 1. And basically, if you know where Pineville is in the Charlotte area, which is just basically lodged between South Charlotte and the South Carolina state line, that'll get you there. But it's roughly near Carolina Place, so if you look for Carolina Place and follow along Highway 51, you'll be able to find us in the Pineville area. Beautiful downtown Pineville is about a block long, so if you blink, you might miss it. But that'll give you a good idea where it's at.
Okay. And if you get lost, just stop one of the locals and ask them, hey, where's Pineville at? And a lot of them will know exactly where you're talking about. So thank you so much, Albert, for coming on. And for those of you out there, you have a local family gaming store in your area, do your best to support them because they, as you can tell, this is an atypical sense of how much dedication and work that these people put into starting that business. And you could order and buy stuff online as much as you want, but if your local game store goes out of business, where are you going to go to play all those things? If you go to somebody's house, that's a pain in the butt in its own, just trying to get everybody's schedule together. So, if you have a local game store, support it. And also, I wanted to use guys as an example or a template that if you do have a local game store in your area and they're not having like a potluck or a family type thing, just if you have a good rapport with a manager, just hit them up and say, hey, have you thought about having a potluck once a month, and people come in and eat and play games and buy things.
Socialize. I mean, I think that's the thing that we try to lean towards. That you can maybe save a few dollars by going to Amazon or whatever, but this gives you an option to play games with the people who are like-minded people who enjoy the same kind of things that you do, and build up that social capability.
That's right, and it's not cliquish. It's very welcoming. Like I said, if you come, by the time you come to a store like this twice, you're adopted into the family, and people know you, and very, very welcoming. So,
thanks very much.
So much,
we appreciate that.
All right, and congratulations on getting the shout out from Man vs. Meeple. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty nice. Yeah.
Thank Marty for that one. And,
absolutely.
Because that was funny. I heard that. It's like, I just talked to Albert about a week ago about doing it for you.
Yeah. A little shout out to Rolling Dice and Taking Names.
Yes.
Name dropping here. Marty and Tony have been very kind to us, so we really appreciated that.
That's cool. Yeah, gaming is a social activity, so let's go out there and be social.
Absolutely.
All right, Albert. Well, thank you so much, and again, we'll have the details and information about Carolina Tabletop Games. If you're in the area, stop by and say hi and tell them the Mega Meeple and Marty's sent them over there.
Sounds great.
All right. All right, welcome back to the Mega Meeple, and this time we have Josh Bridgman from Nightshade Creations. Now, he has a project that's currently out on Kickstarter called the Gaming Vault. Tell us how you're doing tonight.
I can't complain.
Yeah, that hardly does any good, does it? So, tell us a little bit about your background. How long you've been a gamer, or what kind of games do you like playing?
I've been a gamer pretty much all my life, but where I used to come from, there wasn't many people to game with. I ended up moving to Galesburg to get my degree and get a career. I became a nurse, and I hung out with some people here, which are pretty cool. And they got me into gaming, and I've been hooked ever since.
Well, tell us what sparked the idea of the Gaming Vault. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, actually, you'll hear a guy in the background. He's sitting next to me. He's the guy I game with, and it was actually kind of him. We were gaming a lot of times, and both he and I, we collect all the books for D&D. That's a type of tabletop we play. And the books would fall apart, get beat up in our book bags and stuff. And I lost all the stuff up. He's got a huge amount of books. And it'd be kind of cool to collect all that stuff in something that was hard and durable that would hold the books and all the gaming stuff in.
Okay. Now, what's your friend's name there?
Brad.
Brad, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
That's good. Okay, so we're getting 2 for the price of 1 here. Very good. Now, how many versions did you guys go through before you came up with the final product?
This is the prototype and the only product.
The only one. Oh, the first and only one. Okay. All right.
With chisels and a Dremel tool, and that was about it.
All right. Well, for those of people that have not yet seen the item on Kickstarter, why don't you describe what the item is?
As I said, it can fit any tabletop Roll20 type games, Pathfinder, D&D, games like that, Shadowrun maybe. The bottom of the base is actually, we're going to develop different bottom bases so it can hold different type of things, because some people wanted more, so we're going to add more to it. It is 12.5 by 9.5 by 4.5 inches. So it's pretty hefty. It fits 2 D&D books in, like the Player's Handbook and the DMG, or it'll fit a Player's Handbook. I have a collapsible prism tower that goes in it. That tower hasn't been made yet, so it's one of a kind right now that goes with it. It's pretty functional. We checked it out, and you'd think that all the dice would just go right through it, and they don't. They actually hit every tumbler and roll out differently. It rolls pretty effectively too. It's actually made of poplar, which is similar in strength to oak. Not quite as strong, but pretty strong, but a lot lighter. The box only weighs less than 5 pounds? Less than 5 pounds. So it looks bulkier and heavier than it actually is.
No, it's all held together by hinges, so it just folds and unfolds, and it's got a clasp to keep it closed, which we're thinking about maybe switching to a magnet to keep it closed just to conserve space.
If people want to find out more about you guys and the item, where would you go? Do you have like a website or email or Twitter or anything like that?
Oh, we got a Facebook page right now. It's all in one word if you're looking it up on there. It's JB Nightshade Creations.
And again, we'll put a link to that in the show notes for this episode. You go right to the Facebook page and like them, follow them, and get all the latest news and updates on their Kickstarter and the Gaming Vault. Now, the Kickstarter ends July 11th, so by chance that people are just possibly coming on to, hearing this episode, and it's after July 11th, if they missed a Kickstarter and they want to get more information about the Gaming Vault or buy one from you, is there going to be like a late pledge, or how can they contact you to get a Gaming Vault from you?
Well, and I apologize for the crudeness of the Kickstarter at first. We were rough at it, and I didn't realize the difficulty of Kickstarter. To me, it was easier to build the box than to build the website. But if they miss the Kickstarter, there's a chance that we'll start it again, and let a week go by and then start it up again to see if it does better. But they can always contact us through the Facebook. We're pretty diligent. There's actually about 4 of us that check on it all the time.
Thank you again so much, Josh and Brad, and good luck with the Kickstarter.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mega Meeple. Again, please subscribe on iTunes and leave us a rating and 5 stars and all that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to support the podcast with hosting costs and stuff like that, you can go to our Patreon page and donate $1 or so. Every bit helps. Now, if you have any ideas of topics to be discussed or things to include in the show, please follow and reach out to me at any of our social media sites. The links can be found on the social media page on our website, themegameeple.com. And also, if you're a game designer or creator and would like to get the word out about your game or Kickstarter, you can contact me via the Contact Us page. Thank you so much, and until next week, this is Tom saying, game on.